Hello friends, my name is Deb and I'm from Just Do Something Homestead. Today we are going to vacuum seal mason jars. I'm going to start by coming up with my own mixture of cereal that I am going to vacuum seal. And this box, this is my absolute favorite. I get this from Aldi's and I love granola cereal. This is coconut chia, but when you turn it to the side, you find something that is disturbing. 230 calories per half cup. Wow. So I don't know too many people that eat half a cup of cereal. I'm not one of them. So my goal is to make this last a little bit longer, have less calories, and one way to do that is to add other cereals to it. So I start with my base of the granola, and then I add some more. Now this one is Nature's Promise. That is from Giant or Martin's, and basically that one is Cheerios. Now let's look at the difference on this one. All right, if we turn it to the side, we find out that 1 1/3 cups actually has 160 calories. That's a huge difference. And then the last one, this one comes from Wise Markets. This is organic Rice Krispies. Turn it to the side and we see that a serving is 1 cup with 150 calories. So if I take these things and I combine them, I am going to be able to eat a much larger bowl of cereal without adding all the calories and still staying in my organic breakfast. Many of my subscribers and my friends ask me, why would you vacuum seal your food? And why do you put it in jars? Why can't you just use the bags that you can vacuum seal? I'm going to give you 2 very valid reasons on why I choose to vacuum seal in jars. The first one is pest control. If you were to just keep your pasta or your cereals in your pantry, you have a very strong likelihood of having pests. Whether those pests are mice or they are the little moths that come in, any of those can destroy all your hard work, and I never want to lose any food. So my goal is to be able to seal it inside a glass jar. These are ½ gallon, where nothing is going to be able to destroy it. So that's the main reason that I use my ½ gallon jars to vacuum seal. The second reason is it extends how long you can store your food. If I have a box of cereal like I have over here, and I put this box up in my cupboard, it's not going to seal very well. I can put a clothespin on it, but if it gets up there and it's a couple weeks long, it starts to get stale. By putting them in jars and sealing them, they are going to last much longer. I usually look at the date on the box of cereal. So this one is saying that it's good until March 2024. By sealing it, I can add another year easily to that date. So I would be able to keep it until 2025. I like to add to my granola cereal. As I said, I have Rice Krispies, I have Cheerios, but there are many other things. I like to put in puffed millet. I actually have some canned cranberries, and these are dried ones, so they call them craisins. I always call them crazy raisins. But you can add some dried fruit. You can add some nuts. These are just some almonds that I have. Chop them up, add them. So you also have more control over your cereal. You can make sure that everything that you're adding is something that, 1, you enjoy, and 2, you know where it's coming from. I'm going to start my mixture by adding these cereals into a large bowl, and then I can stir in the things that I want. As far as the Cheerios and the Rice Krispies, I'm going to add about ½ a box. Pour these in. And then my Rice Krispies. today I would like to add some of my craisins. Now this is a little gadget that I bought that I use to open up my jars, because these lids can actually be used again when you are sealing them, not using them for canning, but to seal them. And let me find a spot. Not always easy to get it open. Did you hear that? That is the suction on it. Now these craisins, I put those in, about a year ago. They are still extremely soft. So I'm gonna add some of those to my mixture. Just like that. Next, I'm gonna stir all this up so that it's mixed in nicely. What I like is you can make the combination anything that your family enjoys eating. So you may have different ones for different family members. To fill the jar, I learned this little secret, and that was to use a big enough bowl that your jar will fit right inside. That way when you're scooping it into there and some of it comes out, it's going to go into the bowl itself. My jar, I am going to use a plastic ladle. I found that the size of it is roughly the same as the top of my jar, so it's a lot easier to fill that. Before you seal it, you want to fill the jar to 1 inch from the very top. And at this point, it looks like indeed this jar is filled, but I've learned a little secret, and what you're gonna do is pound it on the counter. What that does is it causes all the particles to move down and to get some of that air out. So I'm gonna pound on here. See how it lowered it significantly? It's probably 3 inches down now. So that gives me plenty of room. I think I can scoop a little bit more in here. Let's see, I know I can. Let's get some more in here. Whenever I have a little bit left, I just add it to one of the jars that I'm currently using. I always have my cereal jars out on the countertop. We have 2 or 3 different varieties, and that's how we use them during the week. All right, just like that. All right, so it is almost to the top. I've left about 1 inch head space, and I did pretty well. That'll be another serving tomorrow, so I'll add that to a jar that we are currently using. All right, at this point, you're going to get one of your wide mouth lids. Now, if you look close, you can see it says organic flour, because I use these over and over. You're not canning them, so you don't have to throw them away once they have been sealed. They can be used multiple times. And I'm going to set it on top of the jar, just like that. And I'm going to find my attachment for the largemouth. So the attachment pops on, like that. All right, and I'm gonna slide it on over so it reaches my food saver. Push the attachment onto it. Let me bring that a little closer so you can see. But this attachment, you've got this bar that's going to go into your food saver. The type of vacuum sealer that I have is a food saver, and when you purchase one, you have to make sure that it has this part up here for accessories, and that is what I was able to find at Walmart. There are different ones. The more expensive ones have the attachment, but the lesser ones do not. So make sure if you're going to be sealing with a jar sealer that you have the capability to do it with your food saver. Now, saying that, they do not include the attachments. These I had to purchase separately. So this one I was able to get off of Amazon, and it works wonderful. I've never had any issues. But this was actually a replacement for the regular mouth jars. This one is wide mouth and this one is regular. If you're gonna have any problems or difficulty sealing, it's almost always with the regular one. This one works pretty well. That's why I switched and used this one. If it's not sealing, one of the things you can do is wipe the top of the rim of your jar, make sure there's no crumbs, and then also take a damp paper towel and run it on the inside of this, and that will help you to get a good seal. You'll know you'll have a seal after you have processed it and you give a little tug on it, it should stay down. Once you have that connected to your food saver, you're going to turn the machine on and you're going to push the button for accessory, and you are going to hear all the air being sucked out of it. just like that. It shuts off when the air has been removed. So you're gonna pull this up, you'll hear the release. Just like that. And then you're gonna pull this off. All right, what you are left with is a hard seal. It is on there, and everything is sealed in there. At that point, you do want to store these with a ring. When you are doing canning, you don't store them with a ring on it, but when you do vacuum sealing, you do. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do then, I'm going to write on there when the expiration date was on the box. You know, you can do it when you think you want to use it by, when the expiration's on the box, or when you actually sealed it. That is up to you. All right, the last step that I'm going to do is I'm going to add that to the current jar that I am using on our counter. For those jars, I just use a simple plastic lid. I'm going to pour that in there. And we will be using that this week. We go through, each of us through one of those a week. And just put the lid on and stir it up. All right, and that cereal's all ready for the week. Now that you know how to vacuum seal your cereal, what else can you vacuum seal? All right, here are some things that I have also done. I have many things, but oatmeal. Oatmeal is a wonderful thing. Pasta, every box of pasta that I bring into this house, pasta, I actually throw it into the freezer. Make sure there's absolutely nothing in there. I know vacuum sealing it would probably kill it too, but just to be safe, I put all those things in the freezer, take it out, let it go to room temperature, and then I vacuum seal it. Most things that I use are indeed organic, and I write that on the things on the top on the lid, but there are some guilty pleasures. One of them is Rice-A-Roni. And so Rice-A-Roni I do a little differently. I cut off the instructions, and I also put that in the jar, and then everything that I need is put in there. So there's a great variety of things that you can do. Basically, any of your dry foods can be vacuum sealed. I'm going to show you how to do a small jar. Now this one is shells and white cheddar. It is organic, and I buy this at Aldi's, but I'm going to seal that. I just happen to have a wide mouth jar. Typically I'm using the small mouth, regular mouth, but this one is a wide mouth, and I'm going to seal it and see how it does. All right, first thing we're going to do is just open up that box, and in here you're going to find the typical packet, and you're going to find the shells. So I pour those into my jar, and as you see, it's not going to fill up that jar. And then I'm going to cut off the instructions. So let me get my scissors out of the drawer. The instructions on this one are on the side. So just cut that off, just like that. Sometimes I also cut off the picture so I can put that on the jar and I can see directly what it is. So I've cut out the directions, stick that in there, and in fact this one I think I will put what it is on the other side of the jar. Alright, so I have that label. Now kind of turn it around, stick it in the jar. Alright, so that way I can look right into that jar and know what it is that I have vacuum sealed. Alright, and then the last thing is the packet, and you're going to want to try to fold it up a little, stick it in there. Sometimes it is pretty tight to get it in there, but it will fit. Oh, in fact, I think this one's going to fit very well. Alright, everything's in there. I'm going to find one of my used one. This one actually says organic coffee, but I will change that, and you can easily see what it is from the outside. Alright, so put on the large adapter for that, turn on my food saver, plug it in, and it may take a while. You just let it run until all the air is out. So let's get that one started. Like that. So this is exactly how I do other ones besides my cereals. And same thing, I'm going to put the ring on there just like that. I hope this video has been helpful. You can find most of the things that you need to vacuum seal through Amazon and through Walmart. And this is a food saver system. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Please subscribe, share, and like. And remember, you can't do everything, but just do something.